It has been referenced a couple of times today, the Racing Integrity Handbook, and with that in mind, I'd like to call forward Andrew to tell us a little bit more.
Thank you, Rishi. I started today by describing the activities of the Federation, particularly over the last 3 years, and I hope you will have gained from that sense that the Executive Council of the Federation is determined to take the big issues and advance them through concrete actions. And we've seen that, I think, through the Toronto Summit, addressing the issue of equine welfare. One of the issues that Justice Clark pointed to in terms of uniformity of rules is something that we're addressing through model rules that are being developed by the Harmonisation of Race Day Rules Committee, and so on. Integrity, plainly, is a very important subject area for the International Federation, and so in that vein of taking concrete action, the Executive Council commissioned the production of this Racing Integrity Handbook. Happily, having heard from so many speakers today already, there are a number of perceived benefits of the handbook. I'm just going to invite your attention to. One is that this is a resource. It's instructive. It provides good practice, best practice in some cases, for the use by racing administrators around the world. And does that across 7 areas that relate to racing integrity, and they include such matters as Susan's just mentioned, governance, safeguarding, but right through the gamut, through to education of participants, which plainly is an important element of achieving integrity in the sport. And to enable this resource to be fully utilised, the Executive Council has authorised further action to augment the handbook itself, and Martin has referred to some of that in the form of the webinars that will be staged in each of the regions over the next 12 months. The other benefit I'm just going to touch on relates to something that Justice Clark made mention of. I'm going to paraphrase him here. He said something to the effect of, don't complain, explain. We've seen today, I think, particularly in sessions 2 and 3, just how sophisticated racing's systems for ensuring integrity in our sport are. But that's not always sufficiently recognised by government, by the public, and by other stakeholders. We bear some responsibility for that, as Justice Clark has pointed to, and so the handbook is designed as a tool that all of us can use in addressing that deficiency. I have to, at this point, acknowledge the work that has been necessary to produce the handbook. By name, I'm only going to mention Martin Perbrick, who is the project leader, and it was indeed Martin's proposal to the Executive Council that led to the production of the handbook. But of course, Martin has been supported in this enterprise by a large number of people. Indeed, there are some 25 industry experts who have made contributions to this handbook. It is their efforts that provide the contents, and it is their expertise that gives this handbook its authority. And so, on behalf of the Executive Council, I thank them for their contributions. I'm going to end on the practical note that you have copies of the handbook in front of you. A number of you already have asked for additional copies, and so we're going to satisfy those requests. And of course, the handbook will be available online, and our Climate Change and Sustainability Committee are particularly pleased about that. So that is on a practical note. I'm going to now hand back to Rishi for the ending of the conference with the remarks of Winfred.